You signed something. You don't remember when. You don't remember where. Maybe you were too young. Maybe you weren't even there. But you signed it. And now you're living by rules you never agreed to, working schedules you never chose, following paths you never mapped, living a life that feels like it was designed by someone else. Or did you agree, somehow, without knowing? That's the question that keeps me up some nights. 3 a.m. thoughts, the kind that make you stare at the ceiling and wonder, when did I agree to this? When did I sign the contract that says I have to work 40 years to earn the right to rest? That says my time belongs to someone else until I'm too old to enjoy it back. That says I need permission to simply be still. I don't remember signing. I don't remember anyone asking. But I'm living like I did. Like I signed some invisible document that says, your life will be mostly obligation. Your time will be mostly claimed. Your freedom will be mostly theoretical. Maybe you are too. There's this tree outside my apartment. I watch it sometimes when I can't sleep. It grows upward, always upward, following some invisible rule written into its cells. It doesn't question gravity, doesn't negotiate with the soil, doesn't ask permission from the sun. It just grows. Because that's the agreement. And I wonder, when did that tree agree? When did it sign the contract that says roots go down, branches go up, leaves fall in autumn? It didn't. It was born into the agreement. The terms were set before it broke through the seed. Just like us. We're born, and someone hands us a life. Here are the rules. Here's how it works. You'll go to school. You'll get a job. You'll work most of your waking hours. You'll be tired. You'll want more time. You won't get it. Did you agree to this? Did anyone ask? Or were you just born into a world where the contract was already signed, already binding, already non-negotiable? I think about this more than I should. I think about the agreement nobody remembers making, the one that governs everything. You'll need money to survive. You'll trade your time for it. You'll spend that time doing things you probably don't want to do. You'll call it living. You'll get 2 days a week to remember what being alive feels like. Then you'll go back. When did we agree to this ratio? 5 days of obligation for 2 days of life? I don't remember the meeting. I don't remember the vote. But here I am, showing up, like I signed something. There's a river near where I grew up. I used to sit by it for hours. The water moves in one direction, always downward, always toward the ocean. It doesn't stop to ask why, doesn't pause to reconsider. It just flows, because that's the agreement water makes with gravity. But water didn't sign anything. It's just following rules that were set long before it condensed from vapor. Rules it can't break even if it wanted to. And I started realizing, maybe we're like that. Maybe we're water thinking we chose to flow downward, thinking we decided, thinking we're free. But we're just following an agreement we inherited, born into motion. Already moving before we could think to stop. The agreement says, you will age, you will slow down, you will watch people leave, you will leave too eventually. You don't get to negotiate the timeline. You don't get to opt out. Did you agree to that? To the timer that started the moment you arrived? I didn't. At least I don't remember agreeing. But it's counting down anyway. I had this moment last year. I was sitting in my car after work, engine off, parking lot nearly empty, just sitting there in the silence. And I realized I'd spent the last 8 hours, 8 hours of my life I'll never get back, doing something I wouldn't do if I didn't need money. Not something I hated, just something I wouldn't choose. Something I did because the alternative was worse, and I'd do it again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. For years, decades probably, until I'm old enough that someone finally says, I've paid enough. I've traded enough hours. I can stop now. And I sat there thinking, when did I agree to this? When did I sign the part of the contract that says, your time belongs to someone else until you're too worn down to want it back? But then I remembered, or maybe I just realized, I agreed when I was born, when I needed food, shelter, safety, when I opened my eyes and found myself in a world where survival wasn't free, where existence had terms and conditions. The agreement was already in place, the terms non-negotiable. I arrived to find the contract already in effect. Want to eat? Trade your time. Want shelter? Trade your time. Want to exist without fear? Trade your time. It's the same contract everyone signs, every single person. We're all bound by it. We call it society. We call it civilization. We call it the way things are. We call it necessary. But did we choose it? Or did we just arrive and find it waiting, already signed in our name? Think about birds. They migrate thousands of miles, across oceans, through storms. They don't have maps, don't have GPS. They just know. Something in them knows. They follow an agreement written in their biology, an instruction set they were born with. Fly south, return north, repeat until you can't. They don't question it, can't question it. The agreement is deeper than thought, and maybe ours is too. Maybe the agreement we live by isn't something we chose. Maybe it's something we inherited, wired into us before we had words for it, before we could say yes or no. You will want more time than you have. You will feel like you're running out. You will watch others get more and wonder why your portion feels smaller. Did you agree to that feeling? That constant sense of not enough? I don't think so, but it's there anyway, built into the contract, the one we signed by being born. Here's the part that bothers me, the part that keeps circling back in my mind late at night. Even knowing this doesn't change it. I know I'm living by terms I never negotiated. I know the agreement was made before I arrived, before I could speak, before I could think. I know I'm following rules that were set by people who died centuries ago, rules that serve systems I didn't design. And I still show up, still participate, still live like the contract is valid, like I signed it willingly. Because what's the alternative? That's the question that haunts me. What would opting out even look like? You can't refuse gravity and expect to float. You can't negotiate with time and expect it to wait. You can't reject the agreement and still exist comfortably within the world it created. The tree grows upward because down isn't an option. Up is the only direction that leads to light. The water flows down because up isn't physically possible. The birds migrate because staying means freezing, means starving, means dying. And we work. We show up. We trade our hours for permission to have hours. We trade our days for the right to sleep safely at night. Because the alternative isn't freedom. The alternative is just a different kind of prison. One without walls maybe, but with hunger, with exposure, with isolation so complete, it becomes its own form of death. Those aren't real alternatives. Those are just different flavors of suffering, different ways to lose. The agreement doesn't actually give you options. It gives you the illusion of choice within a framework you didn't design and can't escape. You can choose your job, but not whether to have one. You can choose your path, but not whether to walk it. You can choose how you spend your time, but not whether time spends you first. I used to think this was cynical, used to think I was just being negative, ungrateful even, privileged to even question it when so many people have it worse. But then I'd see that tree outside my window, watch it through the seasons, see it grow in spring, full and green in summer, turning colors in fall, bare in winter. Watch it follow rules it never chose, cycles it never agreed to. And I'd think, is it cynical to notice? Or is it just honest? Is it ungrateful to see the contract for what it is? Or is it finally being truthful about the terms? The leaves fall in autumn, every year, like clockwork. They don't choose it. They don't agree to it. They don't wake up one morning and decide, today I let go. It just happens. The agreement between seasons and trees and time, written in biology, in chemistry, in forces older than thought. And the tree doesn't call it unfair, doesn't rage against the dying of the light, doesn't question why it can't stay green forever, doesn't demand different terms. It just lets go, lets the leaves fall, stands bare through winter, waits for spring, not because it chose to, but because that's the agreement. That's what trees do, what they've always done, what they'll keep doing long after we're gone. Maybe that's the real agreement, not the rules themselves. Those are fixed, unchangeable, written in forces we can't touch. But the letting go, the acceptance, the living within terms we never set. You didn't choose to be born. Nobody does. You didn't choose your body, your brain, your baseline capacity for joy or suffering. You didn't choose your family, your circumstances, the country you'd arrive in, the decade. The system's already in place when you opened your eyes. You didn't choose the world you'd be born into. The contract's already binding. The agreement's already in effect. The rules already written. You just showed up. And immediately you were in, bound, obligated. But you're here now, living within all of it, following rules you never made, keeping agreements you never signed, operating under terms you never saw written down. You'll work most of your life. You'll be tired most of the time. You'll want more than you get. You'll get less than you want. You'll age faster than you expect. You'll run out of time before you run out of things you wanted to do. Did you agree to that? Did anyone ask? Was there a moment where someone said, "Here are the terms," and you said, "Yes, I accept"? No. You were born. That was the agreement. Breathing was consent. Existing was signing. And maybe the only real choice, the only actual freedom we get in all of this, is this. Do you fight it? Or do you let go? Do you spend your life raging against terms that won't change? Or do you accept them? Do you demand fairness from a system that never promised it? Or do you just live within the unfairness, despite it? I don't know which is right. I don't think there is a right answer. But I know this. The tree doesn't suffer over gravity. The water doesn't agonize over flowing downward. The birds don't question the migration. They just do it. They just follow the agreement. Not because they chose it, because it chose them. And we're the only ones who torture ourselves over contracts we never signed. Who spend our lives negotiating with terms that can't be changed. Who think if we just understand it enough, analyze it enough, we can somehow opt out. We can't. The agreement isn't optional. You're born, you're in. You're bound by rules written before you arrived. You'll spend most of your time doing things you wouldn't freely choose. You'll age. You'll slow down. You'll watch everything change, including yourself. You never agreed to any of it. But here you are anyway. And the question isn't whether the contract is fair. It's not. It never was. The question is, now what? Now that you know you're living by terms you never set. Now that you see the agreement you never remember signing. What do you do with that? Do you keep looking for the exit that doesn't exist? Keep fighting terms that won't change? Keep demanding fairness from a system that never promised it? Or do you just let go? Like the leaves in autumn, like the water to the ocean, like the birds to the sky. Not because you agree, but because that's what happens when you stop fighting agreements you never made. Maybe that's the only freedom we get, not freedom from the contract, freedom from fighting it. I still don't remember signing. I've looked back through my life trying to find the moment, trying to pinpoint when I agreed, when I said yes to this particular arrangement of time and obligation and exhaustion. I can't find it. I probably never will. But I'm starting to understand something. Something I resist and accept in equal measure. I'm starting to understand why the tree doesn't ask permission to grow, why it doesn't question the gravity that holds it, why it doesn't demand different terms from the soil, why the water doesn't negotiate with the riverbed, doesn't ask why down and not up, doesn't refuse to flow until conditions improve, why the birds don't question the migration, don't demand to know who made the rules, don't require written consent before following instincts older than memory. They're not free, not in any way we'd recognize. They're as bound as we are, more bound maybe. They can't even imagine different terms, can't conceive of opting out. But they're not suffering over their lack of freedom. They're not staying up at 3 a.m. wondering when they agreed to this. They're not torturing themselves with questions that have no answers. They're just here, living, following agreements they never signed, bound by terms they never saw, moving through days they didn't choose, just like us, except they don't fragment themselves questioning it. Don't divide their energy fighting what can't be changed. Don't waste their brief time demanding fairness from a universe that operates on physics, not justice. They just live the agreement. And maybe that's the whole point. You signed something you'll never remember. The terms were set before you arrived. The rules were written by forces you can't name. And you're living by them, right now, this moment. Not because you agreed, but because agreement was never required. You were born. That was enough. The contract was already signed, in blood, in time, in the simple fact of existing. And now here you are, reading this, breathing, aging, following rules you never chose, the agreement you never remember signing, but you're living it anyway.